Your brain is addicted, and it's costing you your focus, creativity, and your energy every single day. That endless scrolling, constant notifications, and tiny little dopamine hit, they're hijacking your attention and they're leaving you foggy, unmotivated, and drained. The good news is your brain is not broken. With the right steps, you can break the cycle, retrain your attention, and rebuild focus, energy, and mental clarity. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to unrot your brain. We'll go step by step with simple, actionable strategies, plus mini challenges to make real change happen. By the end, you'll have a clear roadmap to reclaim your focus, stop the doom scrolling cycle, and feel more energized and in control of your own mind. Chapter 1 is mindset and awareness. Before you start to change anything, the first step is to understand what's actually happening in your brain and why it's so easy to get stuck in the digital loop. We are addicted to our phones for a few reasons, and one of the biggest is that they allow us to escape being alone with our own thoughts. Our brains naturally seek stimulation and instant gratification, and phones provide an endless dopamine hit through its notifications, social media likes, and new content. Even moments of boredom become uncomfortable because we're so used to constantly checking with our own devices instead of sitting with our own thoughts. Over time, this creates a cycle. We crave distraction to avoid discomfort, which rewires our attention, making it harder for us to focus and leaves us dependent on our phones for mental stimulation. It's not just a habit, it's your brain being trained to seek constant, shallow rewards instead of deeper, longer lasting fulfillment. Step 1 is understanding the dopamine loop. Every time you check a notification, open a social media app, or see a headline, your brain gets a little hit of dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical associated with reward and pleasure. It's like a tiny electric jolt that says, yes, this is worth paying more attention to. The problem is, these hits are tiny but frequent, which trains your brain to crave constant stimulation. Over time, your brain starts preferring these small, instant rewards over activities that require focus, patience, and deeper engagement. And that's why after hours of scrolling, you feel foggy, restless, and unmotivated to do anything meaningful. Step 2 is to recognize your attention span. Constant digital input fragments your attention. You might notice that you start multiple tasks but finish few. You check your phone while working, pause a video, and jump into messages, and suddenly an hour has passed and your brain feels exhausted. This is not laziness, it's a symptom of how your brain has been trained to expect frequent rewards instead of sustained focus. Step 3 is to expect small burnout symptoms. In the process of unrotting your brain, you will very likely experience irritability, mental fog, procrastination, and lack of energy. And these are signs that your brain is overloaded. The key here is awareness and not shame. Recognizing these symptoms is the first real step towards change. You can't fix what you don't acknowledge. Step 4 is your mini challenge, the self-audit. Your first action for the next 24 hours is to pay as much attention to how much you spend on your phone and social apps. Write it down and note the moments where you feel mentally drained afterwards. And specifically observe how much time you're spending on social media and what content you're consuming. This simple exercise will give you a baseline because you can't change what you don't measure. Just observe and do not judge. Just a reminder to not beat yourself up during this step. This is about observation and not punishment. You're just collecting data for your brain reset plan. Step 2 is digital detox and environment. Now that you understand the problem, it's time to change your environment. Your phone notifications and feeds are designed to hijack your attention, but you can take the control back. A few years ago, there was a trend called the dopamine detox. Now this blew up on social media with a bit of controversy. People were questioning whether you could do a full dopamine detox and that doing a full one was actually beneficial. And I believe that you can't do a full dopamine detox for everything in your life because there's also a lot of good in dopamine. The problem is getting those constant, frequent dopamine hits from things that don't require much effort, like scrolling on your phone. We can also get dopamine from accomplishing a task that we've worked on for a long time. For your digital detox, step 1 is to clear your social feed. I want you to go through the accounts that you follow. The accounts that you follow are going to show up on your feed. So I want you to curate a feed that brings you motivational, educational content that brings you joy, people that uplift you. So unfollow anything that makes you anxious, triggers comparison, or wastes your time. And keep that content that inspires you, educates, and uplifts you. A curated feed will reduce the mental clutter and make scrolling intentional, not automatic. Step 2 is to limit notifications. My recommendation is to turn off all notifications for all but essential apps, like messages from close friends or calls, because every notification is like a tiny tug to your attention, and remove the ones that are non-essential. Step 3 is to set phone-free zones. Create spaces where your phone is not allowed. For example, keep it out of your bedroom or away from your work area or study area. If you need your phone, schedule specific check-in times. This reduces constant temptation and retrains your brain to focus. Step 4, your mini challenge is the 1-hour phone detox. Pick 1 hour today and do not touch your phone at all. No social media, no scrolling, no notifications. Use this hour for anything else. Reading, walking. This is training your brain to find rewards outside of screens. Another thing I recommend is having 1 day out of the week away from your phone. I like to pick Sundays because that is the day that I plan the following week ahead, and I use the day as a little mental reset. Chapter 3 is daily habits and routine. Changing your phone habits is essential, but it won't fully repair your brain if your daily routine doesn't support your creativity, focus, and energy. Step 1 is your morning sunlight exposure. Spend the first 15 minutes of your morning outside. Sunlight helps reset your circadian rhythm, which improves your sleep, mood, and attention. Even a short walk outside, this simple habit primes your brain for a productive day. And with that, making sure that you're not on your phone for at least the first hour in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, your brain is still in that hazy state for sometimes the first 30 to even an hour after you wake up. Our brain and self-esteem is more susceptible to negativity online through comments, headlines, stories. Step 2 is movement and exercise. Exercise increases blood flow to your brain and boosts dopamine naturally without needing a screen. A 15-minute walk, quick Pilates session, preferably anything that gets your heart rate up, will help your brain focus better throughout the day. Step 3 is your creative activity. I want you to engage in something creative. Writing, drawing, playing music, even cooking. Creative tasks stimulate your prefrontal cortex and reward system differently than digital input. It gives your brain a deeper, longer-lasting sense of accomplishment. Step 4 is structured work blocks. Work in focused intervals, 45 to 15 minutes of undistracted work, and then a 5 to 10 minute break. Protect these blocks by keeping your phone and notifications away from you, preferably in a different room if possible. Doing this reinforces your attention, productivity, and your patience. Step 5 is to practice being comfortable with yourself. Part of resetting your brain is being comfortable without the constant external stimulation. Set aside a few minutes each day where you do nothing but sit alone with your thoughts. No phone, no music, no scrolling. It will likely feel very uncomfortable at first, especially if this is your first time truly sitting alone and being by yourself in silence. But this practice strengthens your ability to tolerate solitude, helps you reconnect with your own mind, and helps you reduce the urge to seek constant digital distraction. Step 6 is your mini challenge, and that's to implement one new habit. Pick one of these 5 habits and start today. Track it for a week, notice your change in mood, focus, and mental clarity. Don't try to implement all the habits at once. Pick one, master it, and then layer the others on. Chapter 4 is situational and broader practical steps. The last step is about keeping your brain engaged beyond your routines through projects and real-world experiences. Step 1 is to plan outings and experiences. Visit a museum, park, cafe, or a new part of your city. Trying new things can stimulate your brain differently than digital screens. They increase engagement, curiosity, and memory formation. Step 2 is social connections. Spend time with your family and friends in person. Face-to-face conversations improve emotional regulation, focus, and attention span. Even small catch-ups matter because the human brain thrives on real connection. Step 3 is to seek new experiences regularly. Learn a new skill, read a book that's not in your preferred genre, or explore a new neighborhood. New experiences keep your brain adaptable and curious, preventing stagnation. Step 4 is your mini challenge, and that is your weekly engagement plan. Schedule at least one activity from this step this week. Track it and see how you feel mentally afterward. Even one intentional outing or project per week can create lasting improvements in your clarity and focus. Reminder to not aim for big changes all at once. Instead, consistently changing small things is more effective than massive life changes. Before we wrap up, let's take a quick moment to reflect. I want you to ask yourself, what habit is your brain most addicted to? Then, what mini challenge are you going to commit to today? And finally, how are you going to measure improvement for your focus and clarity next week? Last but absolutely not least is your 5-step checklist to unrotting your brain. Number 1 is to complete the self-audit of phone usage. 2 is to clear your notifications and your social feed. 3 is to practice your one phone-free hour or to pick your day out of the week to do a mental reset. 4 is to implement one new daily habit. And 5 is to schedule one new experience for this week. Remember that your brain is not broken. It's just been trained for instant gratification and convenience. With awareness, intentional environment changes, and structured habits, you can rebuild your focus, clarity, and mental energy. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next week.